Hello, everyone. So I'm Sonia Giles, practitioner with Child and Family Services Step Up program in the Central Highlands. So I think on the itinerary it actually said that Alan McKay, our team leader, was going to be presenting today. But we thought this would be a really unique opportunity to kind of talk about work on the front line from a practitioner's perspective, and I guess kind of dissect our current service model, and I guess looking at the implications for practice in regards to that. Or do I need to? All right, so understanding and awareness of adolescent family violence in community and across the service sector is limited. So too is the knowledge that specialist service exists. Step Up practitioners not only promote the Step Up program, but utilise and create opportunities to enhance understanding and awareness of adolescent family violence within the community and across the service sector to ensure that specialist adolescent family violence services remain centralised and a pivotal component of integrated service responses. Step Up practitioners working collaboratively with other youth supports often see violent behaviours being defined as difficult to manage behaviours. Some service sectors are essentially working in family violence spaces without utilising safety and risk management frameworks. Safety plans are not considered or developed, and even when high risk behaviours are present. In these instances, Step Up practitioners advocate to occupy lead roles within the care teams to ensure that family safety is prioritised and that the voices of the young people are heard. Often the young people we work with have experienced pathologising attitudes and punitive responses, and it must be recognised that the most important factor in reducing violent and abusive behaviour is an innate need for connection, which is a vital commodity in increasing family safety. So my comrades from Peninsula Health touched upon, I guess, the complexity of our current Step Up clients. So the variation in sheer complexity of co-occurring issues of Step Up clients, being young people and their parents, require capacity and capability for intensive long-term outreach-based interventions and engagement frameworks. So average client engagement with the Step Up program goes far beyond the outlined 16 to 20 weeks. In order to reflectively address the intersectionality of complex factors that predispose and or perpetuate the likelihood of a young person behaving violently within the home, practitioners need to engage extensively with families over considerable periods of time. The current Step Up program service model does not reflect client needs and or current practice. Many of the families we work with have extensive histories of trauma and service involvement and are quite often distrusting of services and that have reinforced shame and disempowered them. So just developing client confidence and trust can take months, and that's when the hard work begins. Rigid program eligibility criteria dictate that there must be a willingness to engage at the point of referral by both young person and parent carer. As an overriding determinant of program participation, the exclusion of anyone seeking support in relation to adolescent violence on the premise of another's unwillingness to engage essentially means that some individuals who require specialist violence support are not getting the care that they need. Risk is not able to be adequately or comprehensively assessed, and the opportunity for improved safety is missed. I guess the curiosity of young people cannot be underestimated. Often the simple initial changes parents make are noticed by young people, and they soon come to realise that the step up intervention focus is not just on their behaviours, but restoring relationships and connection, and this almost always shifts their willingness to engage. So I know my colleagues from Barwon have done a lot of work in regards to the Step Up group program, so I'm not going to talk too much about that here in regards to so I don't want to double up. I'll just mention a few brief points. It does appear, I think, that Peninsula Health, Barwon and Central Highlands have experienced similar challenges in regards to the group component of the Step Up service model. Central Highlands have made significant adaptations to the Step Up group program, which is now aligned with contemporary evidence-based, trauma-informed therapeutic and restorative frameworks, and is tailored to meet the differing developmental needs of young people. However, the capacity to run groups continues to be a significant challenge across the Central Highlands region, with a number of contributing factors. I'll name two. Family group readiness remains a constant factor, which means sometimes parents are ready for group, but the young person is not. Current guidelines do not support parents attending group without the young person. However, we have engaged parents in group even if they haven't had the young person present. Obviously, that's not reflected in our targets. But we have found that parents attending group alone, are provided with peer support, which has increased, caregiver understandings of young people and has equipped them to respond appropriately to the young person's developmental needs, through providing supportive, explorative, thought-provoking discussions with facilitators and other participants. Another difficulty is the capacity to run group within the guidelines, as the guidelines don't appear to acknowledge the significant barriers and disadvantage experienced by participants. For example, the care of younger siblings, and this is especially evident in isolated and rural settings. The Central Highlands region is located in west of Victoria, comprising of almost 14,000 square kilometres, with 4 step-up practitioners providing outreach to young people and families in rural catchments and clients who often reside on properties that are very isolated. Multiple adaptations have been made by CAFS as an agency in order to meet the needs of staff safety. Staff often attending visits in rural areas after hours and as an attempt to limit the disruption of protective factors. In many cases, practitioners need to see multiple family members in a single session within the home, and often requiring 2 practitioners to be in attendance, particularly when the family presents in crisis. Considerable practitioner knowledge, experience and skills is required to adequately and safely manage the complex dynamics for individuals and families within rural catchment areas, which is exacerbated by the fact that they are isolated and often feel very alone. The opportunity to increase community connectedness is also often limited. Families must overcome the stigma and embarrassment they feel within their community when seeking supports, and families feel they need to hide their difficulties and believe they must manage on their own. CAFS Central Highlands Step Up has aligned the program with family services programs to ensure that every member of the family's experience is seen, and they are offered, as we know there is often more than one child or young person in the home, and multiple factors are impacting on the family dynamic. It's important to recognise that families require this support to ensure all family members are seen and offered specialist services as a response to young people using violence in the home. So it's a systemic approach that I guess is keeping everybody at risk in view. So in regards to program effectiveness, a recent review of the Central Highlands CAFS Step Up program has identified significant deficits in current program evaluation processes. Currently utilised pre and post program assessment tools do not adequately capture change beyond simplistic measurable outcomes. A similar theme is identified in DHHS data collection and analysis, which aims only to monitor and review performance and organisational compliance with service agreement requirements. Anecdotal feedback provided by Step Up program participants indicates that both adolescents and parents have appreciated participating in the program, have developed greater understandings of the adverse effects of violence and abuse, have enhanced emotional awareness, have learnt how to better manage conflict, and have identified feeling more connected and understood. Central Highlands Step Up are currently exploring the implementation of a mixed method approach to data collection and analysis with the intention of introducing qualitative assessment tools that support and complement quantitative data collection methods and acknowledge participant experiences of change and growth within diverse and complex narratives. The Step Up program is a unique program that combines paradigms of restorative justice and family reparation, therapeutic frameworks, and conjoint adolescent and parent working models to specifically address adolescent violence in the home. It is imperative that suitable and appropriate systems of data collection and analysis are developed and implemented, not only to inform and enhance the capacity of practitioners to meet the needs of diverse and complex families and to strengthen client outcomes, but also to inform the current knowledge base and contribute to the future direction of adolescent family violence programs and intervention.